Welcome everybody to episode 11 of Unwinding with Support Group. I'm Arlene. I'm an LPC and I am drinking today. I got wine today, everybody. I have St. Julian's apple spice donut in the theme of October and fall apple spice donut wine. And if you're curious, it's weird. Just so you know, it tastes weird, but I'm going to drink it. So with me today, I have Bree, who is in the mental health field, who is coming to us from an undisclosed location.
Hello.
Bree, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking a cherry Pepsi straight from the bottle.
Straight from the bottle. Oh my goodness. All right. And we also have Dr. Alice, our resident traumatologist. I just, how much fun that is for me. Alex, what are you drinking today?
I am getting over the good old vid, so I'm drinking some Pedialyte to get some electrolytes back in my body because shoo lordy. And I think it's very important to note that on episode 11, it is our host's birthday.
Ugh.
I want everyone to know it is your glorious day in which you were born.
Of course, it'll be a whole week later by the time this airs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, whatever.
That's okay. We'll celebrate all month long if we have to.
Oh, not a month of my birthday. That just sounds horrible. Ah. Oh, are you feeling better though, Alex? I know you said you had the plague.
Yeah, the plague, it was fabulous. We're getting there. We are getting there.
Well, we're glad to have you, plague and all.
Plague and all. You're awfully happy that we're doing it via Zoom.
Yes. Yes, I am. So, all right. Today's episode, we are going to talk about how to find your own mental health provider. I just think that's a really good skill for everybody to have or to know how. Finding a good therapist, a good psychiatrist, these are sometimes very difficult things to do. So that's why we're going to talk about it. So, who would like to go first? Who has wisdom, insights, thoughts, horror stories?
The one thing I always tell folks is it's okay to shop around. Have yourself a couple of first sessions scheduled with a couple of different people and shop around. That's the advice that I give a lot, especially when it comes to like my individual clients looking for couples counselors. Shop around. Put in a couple of requests, put in a couple of consultations, get a feel for it. Have a first session with a couple of people if you need to. Even if you're 7 sessions in and something's not clicking, don't feel guilty about changing and going back to someone else that you had a first session with. Shop around.
I will second that. It's never about the provider, so it's never about me. It's never about hurting my feelings. If it's not working, it's about you as the person seeking services. If we're not clicking, we're not clicking. If it's not working, it's not working. Like we just don't mesh. And that's okay. My personality doesn't gel with everybody. I've accepted that a long time ago. But the reality of this is like it's about you getting the help that you want. And so I say something similar to what Alex just said. I tell people treat it like an interview. Do some consultations, come in with specific questions, do 3, 5, whatever your options are. If they do free consultations, oh, please do as many as you can. And for the most part, after you've met them, After you've sat down and you've asked your questions, you know. You get a vibe, you got a feeling. And if you're walking away going, I'm not sure, then they ain't the motherfucking one.
Mm-hmm.
That is, unless you have OCD and you're just doubting everything, then probably try again. That's the side note.
Good exposure, you know. That's why I put that little, even if you've had 7 sessions in there with your provider and you want to change, go for it. Don't feel guilty. Sometimes, because you are seeking a counselor because there is, your mentality needs support. So sometimes if we do, and we are fearful of that, we are fearful of getting into the deep stuff, we can immediately just be like, oh, nope, I tried 1 session in, we're good. So I agree with you. It's good to have, more often than not, you'll know after talking to them after having that first session. But even if you're a couple sessions in, don't feel guilty for changing if you need to.
I Before I get into like an example or a horror story, Bree, what do you want to add?
I would just like to prioritize asking questions too. I think that a lot of times, myself included, when going to meet a new therapist, you forget that you're interviewing them. Like you said, Arlene, like you're also determining if they're a good fit for you. So part of that is bringing questions. I know, like for myself, I like to ask therapists, what are you going to do if you can tell that I'm lying to you? Because I do that sometimes. And I need to know their response to be a good fit. Otherwise, if they're not willing to kind of call me out, then we're just not going to mesh well. And this isn't going to, I'm not going to get out of it what I'm trying to put into it.
No, that's a really great point, right? If you know, like, your defense mechanisms, if you know your barriers and you're coming in, like Bree said, like to minimize, or like, I'm gonna skirt everything I can. What, and your method is to tell me, oh, sweetie, that sounds hard, when really you might need a motherfucker what kind of approach. Like, you need to know that up front, or vice versa. You might need someone who pushes you a little softer versus holding your feet to the fire. Like, there's a ton of approaches, and that's important to know. So being able to just ask those questions, that's super important. Um, One of the things I was gonna say is I find it very interesting, the the getting into it, building some sort of like the foundation, starting to build that relationship, like Alex said, in your 7 sessions in, and it doesn't work. You're not vibing it, or there's been damage done, right? Something has damaged the relationship. Now, my first set is like, try to work it out with a therapist, just because that's good for you, right? Work it out, try to address the problem. And that is because it's good for you, not because I need you to stay, like, that you should stay with a therapist, but it's good problem solving, it's good relationship repair. Like, there's good skills in being like, hey, when this happened, when you said this, when this occurred, I felt blah, blah, blah. There's good points in doing that versus just kind of ghosting a therapist. Now, if you want to, whatever your response is, like, if it's not vibing, and don't stay with somebody if you're not getting out what the fuck you're paying for. That's not okay. You pay money for this.
And not only that, but you're setting time aside to work on yourself. That needs to be the most valuable time that you can make it. And if you're not clicking with your therapist, then you're not going to want to go deeper into what's bothering you, what's going on, what you need support with, what you need to heal from. And then that's just a waste of time for this time that you've set aside for healing. You've taken the first step, and going to counseling, bravo, that's fantastic. Now make sure you're getting everything you can out of it.
Going to counseling isn't easy. It's a difficult step. It's opening yourself up to being vulnerable. Whether this is the first time you've been or the 75th time you've been, and you have your trauma down on a goddamn fucking slide deck by this point. Either way, it's never easy to start over. It's just not.
Nope.
So being able to say, like, okay, this is what it is, this is how it goes. I met with a new client today, actually, and one of the questions I asked was, okay, I'm her fourth counselor, and she's 14. What happened? What didn't you like? What didn't work? And then you had one counselor you really liked. What worked there? So for me, those are questions I ask when I know I'm the whatever counselor because it wasn't working. Because I want to know if I'm going to work with somebody who's had some not so great experiences. But the thing that I always generally get is I just didn't feel understood. The amount of times I've heard I just didn't feel understood is amazing to me. And not just from adolescents, but from adults. The amount of people who have stayed with a therapist way past the time that they should have, and they knew it, but did it anyways because they didn't feel like there was another option. They were stuck because of insurance. They didn't want to hurt the therapist's feelings. The list goes on and on. My the most interesting one I've ever had was somebody trying to have a conversation with a therapist about them not feeling heard and seen, and the therapist getting defensive. And then it turning into an argument, into a fight about how the therapist was right, which is the exact wrong way to handle that. And I know that is not the only time someone's experienced that in therapy. And if you have experienced that, I am incredibly fucking sorry, because that is not how that should go. Not never, not ever, not never. Therapy is not about me, it's about you. If you don't like what the fuck I did, you don't like the fuck I did. Um, that's just what it is. But what happens when that occurs is that somebody probably isn't coming back to therapy, or it's going to take them years. And that's the shittiest part right there. So, Alex, what do you have to add to that?
I hate to hear stories like that because it is so difficult to finally bring yourself to be vulnerable with a person and to know that people have had experiences. I mean, I know that bad experiences happen, but to have experiences in which the therapist yells at you or fights with you in a place in which you're supposed to be healing, oh goodness gracious. It's just very frustrating, for sure. Because we as therapists, we're supposed to be person centered. The person that comes to us, we're supposed to figure out what is going to be best in their support, best in their time, and we fit ourselves to the client. We don't make the client fit to us.
Yes, agreed. Bree, do you have anything to add about how, like, therapy gone wrong?
Yes, therapy gone wrong. I've definitely had my fair share of poor therapists, and I think something that is important that I think you touched on a little bit earlier too, Arlene, when those bad things happen or the relationship is damaged in some way, is to try and kind of set your boundary of why that was a problem, why that hurts your feelings, or why whatever happened. I know I had a therapist once who, on the very first session that we met, and I was very young, I was like in my teens, mid teens, maybe 15. And she blamed all of my problems that I was having on like my little sister, who was like, I don't know, 7. She was a baby. And there was no way any of the problems were even really my own or a 7-year-old, but being able to kind of tell her, like, hey man, like, one, you're being wild, but two, like, that was really harmful to me. That really, made me not trust you. Granted, I never wanted to see her again one way or another, but being able to have that conversation and learn a little bit of those skills of telling people when they've harmed you, which I was not really great at doing at the time, um, was very helpful.
I think that's great, right? Like just being able to do that and have that part for you, but also recognizing like, hey, you didn't want to ever see her again. And that's okay. Um the my favorite line on social media outside of random fucking diagnosis terms is I'm too self-aware for therapy. Therapy doesn't work because I'm too self-aware. I do therapy predominantly, like a giant chunk of my caseload is other people in the mental health field. And there are some of the most pain in the ass people I work with because they intellectually know it, but emotionally they don't. And I say that to them all the time. Because they say it all the time. They put it into practice, but sometimes it's the connector to like, oh, I got to apply this to myself. So telling me you're self-aware, but therapy doesn't work for you also probably isn't true because you're not applying it. And sometimes we just need someone else to say it to us, but also tells me you haven't had a good therapist. Because that's really what I hear every time I see that. You haven't had a good therapist. You haven't had somebody be able to connect to you to show you how to do that. That's what I hear every time I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly, this wine is not really great, just so everybody's clear. This wine is
every
not fantastic.
every time you take a sip, I see your face, and I'm just like, oof.
It's not great. I'm gonna
Yep,
drink it because I poured it. It's not great.
it's not great. Not great. I can tell. So I will be marking that off of my list of things to try, which I
And
didn't even know that existed. So
everybody mark it off their list of things to try.
thank you for letting me know about it and letting me know not to drink it.
Ugh, it's like weird. It's like spicy apple with a sweet donutty flavor. It's just weird.
It's weird.
The flavors in my mouth don't know what to do, which is why it's weird. Sorry. Anyways, side note, Alex.
Side um oh gosh, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I got distracted by the thought of bacon toothpaste because whenever you said that combination of apple and cinnamon in your mouth that know what to do, I immediately thought of bacon flavored toothpaste and how they tried that for a while.
Yeah, that's just, ugh,
Apparently that was a thing. I don't know. I just
so gross.
immediately started thinking about that. Anyways, back to providers. So Um, one of my absolute favorite tools is Psychology Today because they have so many filters on there that you can put looking for a therapist. They have everything down to what modality would you like for them to use? what insurance do you have? Do you want in person or video? Um, what age group? Like it has just got a gazillion filters and it can really start helping you narrow down the search. I love Psychology Today.
I love that they have little videos and whatnot on there sometimes too. I think that something that's really intimidating for me is like not knowing who I'm about to be talking to and
Mhm.
kind of walking into a room and having a stranger come out and call my name. That's very very, I don't know, intimidating to me. I like that they do have the option of kind of that short little video sometimes and getting to hear what a person sounds like. I think that voices are really they're really impactful for me. If you have a voice that is not, I don't know, I don't need a soothing voice, but I need a voice that, I can, I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Sorry, all I'm envisioning is Brie in therapy with someone with a fucking monotone ass voice.
exactly, because I couldn't do it. I don't have a monotone bone in my body. So if I'm with somebody, a therapist who was very like monotone, that's a great example. It would just not go very well for me, and I would feel very, very I don't know, ostracized. So I think that those little things are important in trying to kind of grasp somebody's, not their whole personality, but a little bits of them is really, really helpful.
No, I think that Psychology Today has come quite some ways in being able to provide insight into a person you are theoretically going to share some of the, your scariest things with, or some of your most intimate things with. So I think that is very useful as a predeterminer. For me, um, I put on my website that the phone number that I have is textable. That's like literally on mine. This number is textable for those of you with anxiety.
Love it.
Because how many people do you know don't want to make that phone call because they're anxious,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so being able to recognize you could just text me, it's the same number, just text, right? It's about accessing and being able to feel comfortable like reaching out. Because really, in the end of the day, how many of us really want to make a phone call? Even if we don't have anxiety. I know I don't fucking want to.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. It just takes so much effort, especially if you talk to people all day long. The last thing you want to do is talk to someone else, on the phone. Ugh.
Another people? No, I'm just teasing. But there's more people out there. Oh my goodness, stuff. God. Uh, but the truth is, like, being able to have a textable number to like have someone to contact you for therapy also alleviates or makes it easier. It's something I've noticed. Like it alleviates, even if they end up calling you, it's the concept that they could have. It alleviates some stress, alleviates some anxiety. It makes it a little bit easier of like, okay, like maybe this isn't so scary because she went, you know what? Here's an option because I know this might be scary.
Mhm.
It's the whole reason that I ensure that everybody knows that number is textable. Well, that and we live in a world where everybody texts legitimately, except for my grandma, who
Grandma
I wish,
hasn't given into texting yet.
God, I really wish she would. She would make my life simpler if she would just text on a regular basis. No, you text her 5 days later, she responds.
I love that.
So, no. the worst finding a therapist moment for me, my own, was I am not a very religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person. I'm sure something's there. I don't know what that thing is. So people would call me more agnostic than anything else. So at the end of the day, I ended up with a therapist and who was a little more faith-based than I am. And not that I cared, because whatever, I wasn't there for that. And really, I just needed somebody to talk to. I was having a hard time. And I was looking for solutions to help me because I was depressed. And I shit you not, she went between I needed to pray or I needed to go to the gym. Those were her advice every fucking time. I'm depressed. I can barely get out of fucking bed. I barely got out of bed to come to this motherfucking appointment. I went to her 5 times because nothing was helpful. Even when I told her those things aren't helping me because I cannot get out of bed. So if I'm having trouble getting the fuck up out of bed, how am I going to the gym? And so for me, recognizing that she never varied or heard me or understood that, like, I'm not going to roll out of bed and go to the gym when I am blanket burritoing in like big, deep depression. That just ain't fucking working. I was like, this isn't going to work. And so I didn't go. And it took me a very long time before I found someone else. Because I was frustrated. And that is how I know when people have a bad experience in therapy, it turns them off. And so for me, even though like if somebody tells me we're not clicking, I'm like, how do I get you to someone we are? If this isn't it, let me help you find somebody. And oftentimes I'm the one that prompts that conversation because I know people are often afraid to. Like, are we doing good? How do you feel about therapy? Are we connecting? Like those kind of check-ins. But it sucks when you are trying to like, I need you to help me. And the help you're given is like, meh, go jump off a bridge. Because that's how it felt to me.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gym. Girl, I barely put pants on today. Let's just be happy I wasn't clothes for this appointment. Like it was hard. And so it was a great time. It was a great time. Because I really didn't care that she was like, okay, pray about it. I was like, okay, great, whatever about that. What else can I do tangibly? Like, sure, going to the gym is great. For some people, I am not a gym person. I will never be a gym person. So even if I was in the best of mental health, I'm not going to the motherfucking gym. Let's just clear that up now. I've tried. Do you want to know what ends up happening? I want to sleep instead of going to the gym.
Sleeping burns calories too. So
because I have to get up at like the ass crack of dawn to go to the gym for my life, and ass crack of dawn, get up and go to the gym or sleep, and sleep is going to win every fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just not that person. I've accepted that a long time ago. But since Bree decided to share one of her, have fun in therapy moments, I thought I would share one of mine too.
It's a blast sometimes, isn't it?
It's a glorious time. Oh, guys, I'm gonna have another bad drink of wine.
How much more you got left of that wine?
So much. So fucking much. You know, it's really sad that it's not good because it sounds like it should be good.
Well, trying new things sometimes is great. Sometimes you learn what you don't like.
You know, a way to reframe that, Alex. Ah. Hmm. Ah. Do you have anything else you want to add there, Alex?
Well, for me, I haven't had one of those moments that you guys have expressed. I've just had a really hard time clicking with someone. Like it's very difficult for me to want to open up to anyone like ever. So, it really takes a lot for me to feel like I can connect with someone. And it wasn't until like 3, 4 weeks ago did I finally find the counselor for me. I've been on the hunt this whole time, my entire life, trying to find a counselor. Because let's see here, I was first introduced to it in high school. So, nope, earlier than that. No, high school. Um, so like for the last, how old am I? I don't even know how old I am. I'm 29. Okay,
Wait a
so
minute.
for the
Hold on. We gotta pull up fingers.
hold
1,
on,
2,
I got
3.
I gotta listen, side note, I a couple of years ago was like, yeah, someone's throwing me a 25th birthday, and my mom straight looked at me and said, "You're turning 26." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she was like, "Yes, you are." And we went back and forth in the middle of a shoe store for like 10 to 15 minutes because I did not believe her. I was convinced I was turning 25. She said, "No, you're turning 26." I had to sit down, do the math, and then I had to text the person throwing me a birthday party and said, "I really hope you haven't made the invitations yet because I'm actually turning 26." So, anyways, me and my age. So 29 ever since high school, so probably about like 15 years I've been trying to find a counselor. Went through a lot of them, had a lot of initial meetings, had a lot of several, sessions in kind of thing, but they just never really clicked. But I'm here to tell you, as of like 3 to 4 weeks ago, I finally found one. And not from my own doing. It was actually our lovely host who was like, "You need a counselor." So I started my looking around again.
I feel like I say that to a lot of people.
Yeah, you probably do. I mean, when you work with a bunch of therapists, more than likely we do in fact need a therapist.
You know, it's really good for us.
It
I just,
is.
so. Should probably, I'm always like, you should probably talk to somebody about that.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You were like, "What does your therapist say?" And I was like, "I don't have one." And you were like, "Well, that's your first problem."
Whoops. Uh, good time. That sounds like some shit I would say.
No, yeah.
Very much sounds like a thing I would say.
So yeah, I
Um,
mean, it doesn't have to be that the therapist has blatantly done something, wrong, like arguing with you or, not listening to you or whatever it might be. It might just not be a good fit and there might not be a reason why, but just listen to your gut and that's fine.
yeah, I agree. It's like I said earlier, my personality doesn't mesh with everybody.
Mhm.
I've accepted that a long time ago. And there's not much I can do about changing my personality. Um, I change my approach and things like that, but my personality is what the fuck it is. Like that's just sorry, like that's just here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, But again, that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I will help you find someone who is. But that doesn't hurt my feelings. And it shouldn't. Um, the same is, I want to say the same thing is true for a psychiatrist, but, and heavy on butts here. I didn't mean that to sound the way it did, but anyways, psychiatrists are a little bit different because there's such a shortage of psychiatrists right now. That you may want to hang on to the one you have until you find another one. Just because it usually long ass fucking waits and it takes a hot fucking minute to get in. So I wouldn't just drop one without having another one because you don't want to not be without meds if you're on them. And ultimately, after your first session, you see them once every month or every 2 months or every 3 months for check-ins on meds. Do you really need to mesh with them all that well? That's a you decision. You're really just checking in on medication because that's what they do. Bree, do you remember the advice my psychiatrist gave when I first met her?
Just journal. Journal about it. That'll fix all your problems.
Listen, here's the reason I see a psychiatrist. I am in premenopause. I'm a shit show because I have mood swings and I am a miserable human because you can't control that. So I started seeing her to help with that. And that's the advice she gave me. Journal and go for a walk. Because that's going to help my hormone imbalance. Bro, I just need meds. Just give me the meds to level out my brain, which she did. But I was messaging, you guys are never going to believe this shit. Solves all my problems. Let's journal and go for a walk. And by the way, yes, she knows what I do for a living. So I was like, whatever, dude, I just need meds. And they work wonderfully. My mental health is way more stable while I spend the next 8-ish years in menopause, probably. Because it can last for 10. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, something to look forward to.
Just the things you should look forward to. It's glorious. Everybody should. It's stupid. Fucking dumb. Which is really why I was like, okay, maybe I can live with this. And then they were like, you could last 8 years. Oh, no, nope, no, never mind. Somebody in my house might murder me if I continue this. My children might just throw me over into the railroad tracks because they've had enough. So, well, yes. So there you go. Honestly, like I said, for a psychiatrist, I think it might be a little bit different. But I would never say just drop one psychiatrist without having a backup, just because they are your prescriber. And for most mental health meds, coming off of them is a bitch. So have one scheduled if you're going to change. That's what I would say there. Any final thoughts, ladies?
Just want to share that there are a crap ton of platforms that you can look online to find someone. There's Sondermind, Telemind, Growth Therapy, Headway, Psychology Today, um, Alma, uh, BetterHelp, Talkspace. There's all kinds. So definitely not a shortage of people that you can try to look for and schedule sessions with.
100%. You can do in person, you can do virtual, depends on what you want, where you want to go, what your resources are. Whether you live in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of a city, you can probably find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
There are specialized care places out there now, and there are general care, which is also great. So there's somebody around the corner. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that was a commercial for something, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's Walgreens.
Oh, around the corner. You're right.
Is it, or is it on the corner? On your corner? Or was that Rite Aid?
I don't know, but I feel like it's around the corner because I don't think they could do on the corner because prostitutes are on the corner.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can't get on their turf.
I feel like we're conflicting now services. You can only have one on the corner and one around the corner. I don't feel like we could have. Though it would be convenient if they were next to each other.
Wait, which ones? Wait, hang on. There's something like right on the corner, right on the price. What is that commercial? And it's not about prostitutes.
I was like, if they have commercials, like, look at them go.
No, they don't have. No, they don't have. I mean, they might have commercials. I don't know. I just watch a bunch of
I'm
streaming
very
services.
pro sex work as long as it's not human trafficking, so I just don't care.
Yeah, yeah, you know. Uh, but for real, right on the corner, right on the price. What is that? It's gonna really bother me now. Hang on.
Listen, if anybody, whoever listens to this episode knows what it is, please comment. Please let us know in the comments what that is. That would be great. As she's trying to Google it.
I am Googling it. And you know what it is? It's a car commercial.
For what?
I think Wallace Nissan.
Well, no wonder I don't know it. That's a local thing.
I guess. I don't know. Hang on. Yeah. Well, okay, so it's a car salesman. Originally used. Oh, wait, no. No, it's a slogan for Bookman's, a chain of used bookstores in Arizona. And then Wallace Nissan is another one. Okay, anyways, I digress. That's been a whole that's a whole thing.
That
Yeah,
just happened
that
live
just happened.
on the air.
Well, anyways, I'm done.
Bree, any final thoughts?
No, but I love that that was somehow a slogan for two different places. Such a specific slogan.
I love that we
Mhm.
started with it being Walgreens, and it's clearly nothing. It's not even close to Walgreens. It's a bookstore and a car, and not Walgreens.
No, Walgreens was something else. That's gonna be a whole thing. You know what? Listen, we could. Okay.
Ah, fantastic. Well, ladies, I appreciate you both being here tonight, having this conversation.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Arlene, and happy birthday.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Happy birthday.
All right. And for everybody listening, if you enjoyed the podcast, please like it, subscribe to it, share it with your friends, your family, your nemesis, some random stranger on the street. in some social media app that you have. I don't know. Just, share it. Let us know. Actually, I don't know, comment. We like to know what you think. Some things like that. But we do appreciate you listening.